Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about how ADHD can potentially ruin relationships and what you can do to try to prevent that from happening. Now let me start with a story that might be pretty familiar to some of you guys. Two random characters, let's call them her and me. Yeah, her and me. Now her is neurotypical while me has inattentive ADHD. Now the first couple of months between the relationship between her and me started out pretty good. Things were going fine and he was able to hyper-focus on the relationships, so both parties were pretty happy. But unfortunately, as time passed, the ADHD symptoms started catching up to me. He started being more and more bored and found himself reading and gaming obsessively to try to distract himself from the boredness. And as a result, they started communicating less and less, and she started feeling more unappreciated, ignored, and genuinely sad. Now this continued and a rift formed, but me was completely oblivious to everything that was happening. This continued until the relationship broke apart. Now this story might be quite familiar to some of you guys who've been through similar situations. As time passes, our symptoms started catching up, we started getting more and more bored, communication breaks down, causing a breakup. Now let me try to break down the possible complaints between the two parties. The person with the ADHD might feel like their partner is criticizing or nagging them constantly, and they don't seem to understand that you're trying your hardest and you're suffering too. They just don't seem to understand. They might start feeling babied, as if their partner doesn't trust them and doesn't treat them like an adult, but instead like a child. Meanwhile, the partner might start feeling sad or unappreciated or just unloved. They might feel frustrated at their partner's memories and the fact that they just can't seem to keep their promises, despite saying many times that they'll keep it. And they might feel like their partner just doesn't seem to listen. Like you tell them over and over and they seem like they're listening, but they just don't do anything with the information. And this happens over and over and over. Now, I know this isn't easy to hear and it's actually very depressing for me to even talk about, but it's very important. So what is the solution? It's hard work, communication, compromise, and a healthy dose of forgiveness. Now, if you're the one in the relationship with ADHD, I can sympathize with you. A lifetime of failing, probably a bad history with relationships, and very unruly and difficult to manage emotions. And not to forget the fact that it's actually quite difficult to communicate with people when you have ADHD, which I don't really think is talked about a lot. It can be quite difficult to try to get your point across to your partner. Now, I know it can be difficult, but you have to try your hardest and try to really trust and talk to your partner. You have to understand that they're just trying their best and they're not actually nagging you. They're trying to communicate with you the best they can. Additionally, it can also be really easy to fall into a negative codependent relationship, like a parent and child almost, and really start overly depending on your partner to pick up your slack. You have to be really careful of that, try to prevent it, and if you see yourself falling into that mindset, try to break out of it as soon as possible. If you guys are living together, make sure to divide up all work and always be hyper vigilant that your partner is not picking up more slack than really they can afford to take. You have to learn to properly speak and talk to your partner. You have to learn to understand their facial and non-verbal communication, because these kind of things can they're really important. And if you ignore them, things can go really, really badly, really, really quickly. It won't be smooth sailing. Naturally, you'll probably mess up a lot, but as long as both of you are fully invested and you trust them and she trusts you and you keep an open mind and really try to talk through it, it shouldn't be too hard. And the last tip, couples therapy or couples counseling. Now, even if things are going smoothly, I think this is definitely a thing that yourself, the person with the ADHD, and your partner should have a think about, because it really helps you learn how to communicate, how to talk to your partner, how to understand each other, and you really want to prevent these things from going bad before they do. So don't wait until things are bad to get counseling. Preemptive measures are sometimes better than the cure. And that's it for this video. Not an easy topic to talk about, but very important. As always, the links will be in the description. If you liked my video, please give me a like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.